Hello, everybody. Dorothy here, professional astrologer. You can find me on the web, nhastrologer.com. This is your first time here. Welcome, welcome. Today, I'd like to talk about the upcoming week, August 10th to the 16th. I pick out a few aspects in the week that I think are important for us to have a little heads up on. The rest and the lots of the bigger details will be in on my Patreon page. That link is all over the place. It's going to be up there. It will be below if you're on YouTube. It will be in the content page. Today, I want to talk about some of the things that are coming up that can create a lot of tension, right? The title of this week's forecast, let me get it out. I just wrote it out, is being productive or stressed out. So it's your choice. And so this is the astrology of August 10th to the 16th, right? So the biggest focuses that we have this week are two square aspects, one between Mercury and Uranus and the other between Mars and Pluto. And that we have on Monday as well, the sun and the moon are square and the moon conjuncts Uranus. Monday's a busy day, right? And so we'll talk about that lunar cycle and all of those things. So let's get started, because the energy that we need to really talk about has to do right off the bat, Monday morning, Mercury squares Uranus. And so many squares this week. And how do we want to use this? We want to use these squares. First off, they'll come through for most of us feeling like tension and stress and unease, and like something's about to change and we don't know what it is. Very challenging to overcome these stresses for a lot of people. Now, if you're somebody who knows how to listen to your higher self and stay in alignment with that, then you won't feel this much tension. But again, the variables are great, because I don't know how it's impacting you personally. I just know what's going on in the sky. And that's what we describe here every week since 2009, right? And yeah, I've been doing this for a long time. And so I want you to take the energy of Mercury in Leo, which is I am passionate about what I want to say, passionate about how I communicate. It's square, creates tension and stress, but that also means the pressure to take action, because it is constructive. It can be very constructive energy when it squares Uranus, though, because that just means Uranus is really throwing us a ton of curveballs this year. It wants the old ways to go away, not the things that are still solid, but there's a lot of things right now that need to be revamped. And it doesn't happen overnight. This is going to take a while. But Monday, we all have the opportunity to shift something that isn't working for us. We're in the waning lunar phase as well, coming to the final quarter, the last quarter, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And then the moon conjuncts Uranus, and then the moon squares Mercury. So all of that is happening today. So that means there is something that is just like ready to just like let loose. Like little rumbling of earthquakes, we can just feel it, little tremors, and we know something's about to shift. And that's what Monday looks like. A lot going on here. We want to feel solid. We want to feel secure. That moon in Taurus is exalted in that sign, and she just wants to feel comfort and wants to feel grounded. But there are too many things still up in the air, and so we need to make a whole bunch of shifts. And that's what Monday looks like for the most part, especially with that moon in the sign of Taurus. So let me do this. I need to get my notes here. So just because I have dates. Tuesday, and this is at 12:45 p.m., right? So in the afternoon here in New England, East Coast of the United States. Tuesday, the 11th, we have that last quarter moon in the sign of Taurus. It's right about, yes, at 19 degrees of Taurus. That's my ascendant. Yay, squares the moon in the sun in Leo. So what do you want to do with this? First off, what happens with that fourth quarter moon, right? So it's the last quarter, we call it. So this is about closing. When we're in this waning lunar phase in this final quarter, it's about finishing up things, reviewing things, and getting ready for a completion. Now, the completion is from what we began, the new moon, and this is well over 2 years ago, May 15th, 2018. I've got these dates written out, and all of this is written out, much more details. It's on my website. And if you join my newsletter, you'll get it in your inbox. And if you're new, one person a month gets a bonus forecast that I do for my tier 4 Patreon people. So come join me there if you would, please. I would appreciate that. It'd be wonderful to see you there. So the new moon, when we have a new moon, you know, every new moon starts a whole new 3-year cycle, right? Because then we have, you guys have heard me talk about this, the first quarter moon, the full moon, then the last quarter moon, and then we go all the way back to another new moon, which will be 3 years after the one related to this. So needless to say, I'm going to go in details on that on Patreon as well. The point is August 11th, this fourth quarter, last quarter moon, if you will, is about closure. So check that out. See what you need. You are tidying up. If you can go back in your journals or your calendars to May 15th, 2018, that's when this began. There's more dates. I want you to go read them. So check that out and see what you were completing, because that's what we're at. We're at that final lunar phase for a longer picture than just this month, because the new moon is coming up, but we're still in that final phase. The new moon's August 18th. That's next week's forecast. So look at that for yourself, all right, and see what you were doing then. And I want you to get in alignment with that, knowing that you're going to be finishing up things, tidying up a lot of processes. You know, it'll take another 9 months to get there, but that's all right, because, you know, there are always these long-term goals, even if we don't recognize it. I know what I started about that time period, you know, a process that was going on, and, you know, it's coming to an end now, which is perfectly fine. That they have a natural cycle, nothing to be worried about, right? But I don't know your details, so maybe it is something for you to worry about. Overall, it's not. That's really what it comes down to. This is the timing of astrology. This is how we can see what you know, what we are going through. And if you're interested in something like that, you know how to find me right here for your own private information. Now, the next big thing, I've been talking about this since last November, and that is Mars square Pluto. This is the first connection between these two planets, Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter. Man, oh man, they've all been, you know, conjunct and back and forth, and they're not done yet, won't be done till the end of the year. And Mars is now, this is the first time Mars has come in to make a square aspect. Now, it's squaring Pluto and Jupiter and Saturn 3 times this year, but right now I'm just going to talk about the square to Pluto. So Mars in Aries is a lot of dynamic energy. It is the initiator, the go-getter, the I am of the zodiac, but it's very selfish and self-focused. And when it makes that square to Pluto, there's a lot of internal things that will be coming up. Mars is aggressive, can be selfish. So there can be a lot of power struggles between, you know, again, the powers that be, that really deep internalized Pluto and Capricorn, and, you know, the processes that have been going on forever, you know, they're just really ingrained in society. And this Mars in Aries, and he's staying in this sign for almost 7 months, 6.5, almost 7 months. He's been in for a while. But the point is, it's the first square. And when the first connection between two planets in a cycle like this one is usually the one that has cut, you know, it's like the first cut is the deepest, and it's sharp, and it just pushes us to our limits. So the square aspect, like I mentioned earlier with Mercury and Uranus, it has everything to do with being aggressive and assertive. That's the Mars in Aries. And it's about, you know, stress and tension, things coming to a head so we can finally see what's going on. In a way, it was like that explosion in Beirut. Something was going on behind the scenes. That's the Pluto. We don't know. We only know what they tell us. Something was going on behind the scenes. And then just from the video in that very few seconds, you could see it just getting bigger and bigger. And then, boom, you know, we send our light and love to the people who've been injured by that. But the point is like, that's Mars and Pluto. There's a lot of immediate explosion and a lot of destruction. So how you want to use this? Now we can take the other side of Mars and Aries, because there's always another side of all of these things. And this is the a more positive way to use this energy, and is to be courageous and to be that person who really does initiate action, to connect in the first time, to take charge of something, and to find that courage within you to take charge in an area that you want to take charge in. Now, you might not even think it through, because Mars and Aries just acts. It doesn't typically think things through. So we're all going to feel a little edgy in our own way, right? In how we may use this energy. Because, I mean, seriously, who knows? Because there's so many variables at this point in time. To get the specifics, you'd have to look at your chart to see what's going on. And then again, there's still a lot of variables of what's happening. So this is the first hit between Mars and Pluto. So expect a lot of, there could be tension and stress and a lot of anger and angst and a lot of stuff coming up from the, from the depths of your soul, from the depths of whatever, right? What's been hidden is coming up, and there's a lot of action, action, action. The next 2 times they hit, I keep saying hit, but the next 2 times they're exactly square is October 9th. Mars will be retrograde by then. And then again, December 23rd. And I'll refer you to my Mars and Aries video. That link will be around here somewhere. All right, what else do I want to talk about? That's a lot though, huh? Makes you just want to really like exhale or hide. I know, what can I say? I only interpret this stuff. I didn't make it happen. But if you're finding that there's just too much going on, and you have too much anger, or there's just so much inside that you just can't seem to release or let go, do some extra exercise. Let that steam out. It's like a pressure cooker. If the steam doesn't come out, the whole pot will blow. So look at it that way. If you're finding that there's just too much energy building or too much anger building, then find a way to blow off some steam, because that really will make a difference. And then you can address situations not in such a hot-headed way. So I'm hoping that will help you. There's so much more in the written forecast. And if you're a member of my Patreon group, so please come and see me there. And yeah, I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you very much. Blessings and namaste. And well, we're all in this together, but in different ways, right? Yeah. Come and see me on my website. I can help you there.